Every great story starts with the rush of thrilling gaming action. Handcrafted flavors, eager to please. Getaways for some well-deserved me time. And rewards worth bragging about. If it's a story worth telling, it starts at La Berge Baton Rouge. What's your story?
The biggest sale of the year is happening right now during Happy Honda Days at Team Honda. For a limited time, make no payments for 90 days on every new Honda. That's right, you choose and make no payments for 90 days at Louisiana's #1 Honda dealer, Team Honda on Siegen Lane.
Few things in life are as valuable as family and peace of mind, especially when it comes to your final arrangements. And that's where Dignity Memorial can help. Our prepaid funeral plans make sure that your life will be remembered exactly the way you want it to. At Dignity Memorial, no detail is too large or too small. Call Lee Serio at 225-315-6329. That's 315-6329. Dignity Memorial, the peace of mind your family deserves.
Visit Treads & Care Tire Company's new location on Hooper Road in Central. Locally owned for over 50 years, Treads & Care is known for quality automotive repair and top-notch customer service.
I'd like to invite you to come out and see us at our new location in Central.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Welcome as we start another week of the Clarence Bud Show. Here's hoping all is well with you and yours and your little slice of South Louisiana heaven since the last opportunity we had to spend some time with you and yours at the end of last week. It is something that we have come to expect here in Baton Rouge, New Orleans, and all across America. As summer approaches, crime, and particularly deadly crime, starts to escalate above and beyond what we normally call, quote, acceptable. Here in Baton Rouge, 4 deadly shootings in 3 days, 8 shootings since Saturday night. This is roughly 11:30 on Tuesday when we record this show, and it doesn't show any signs of abating anytime soon. Mayor Sharon Weston Broome issuing a statement that says, in part, "To the families, loved ones, and victims, I offer my deepest condolences and support during this difficult time. I also want to express my gratitude to the first responders and law enforcement who put their lives on the line to protect our community. We will not rest until we have addressed the root causes of gun violence and put an end to these senseless acts." I understand wanting to get to the root causes of any problem. But until that happens, you got to drop the hammer on some folks. This has gotten totally out of control. This has citizens all across the capital city wondering where and who is going to be next. I understand the, quote, Summer of Hope initiatives and all of this. I get that. But at the end of the day, there are people in our community who have exhibited the fact, and make no bones about it, that they are either incapable or unwilling to live by the rules of the civilized society. And when we encounter those individuals, it is our duty and our obligation to lock them up for as long as humanly possible. I understand all the big push for criminal justice reform and this, that, and the other. But tell that to the families of the victims of these outrageously senseless crimes. Make no mistake about it. The criminal element is not as dumb as you think they are. And they see full well our lack of commitment to dealing with their actions. And until that changes, expect more of the same. In other Louisiana news, I saw this story last week, and 2 days later it was confirmed. You may have seen the story. Louisiana continues to lead the nation in the number of people that, for whatever reason, refuse to put on a seatbelt. Pickup truck occupants are at the very top of the list. 2 days after this story airs, a car in Lafourche Parish, 5 people in the vehicle, none of them properly restrained. 17-year-old dies at the scene. The other 4 ejected through the windows of the car. I guess I have to understand to a degree at 17, 18, 19 years of age, you don't have the life experiences to understand what being ejected through the windshield of a car can do to the human anatomy. That is why it is so important that parents lead by example and instill this in their children. You look at the ages of the 5 occupants of that vehicle and the unfortunate death of one of them, you have to think that's a learned behavior. They got that from somewhere. Now, 1 is dead and 4 are injured from something as simple as properly restraining yourself in a motor vehicle. Sadly, I don't think the trend is going to end anytime soon, but it is what it is. Speaking of lists, where Louisiana's at the very top, I hope they didn't pay for this survey, because if they did, they may as well just pull their money out and set it on fire. List of states with the largest population of mosquitoes. You know which one is at the very top, right? Yeah, Louisiana. As a matter of fact, you could probably take our logo here, remove the pelican there, and put a big old mosquito. That's our unofficial state bird. The reason I bring this up, it's that time of year, y'all. Mosquito populations starting to explode, and you know what that means, right? Possibility of West Nile, encephalitis, all of that. Now is the time, y'all. Start making the preparations. Go ahead, next time you go to the store, grab you some repellent, mosquito repellent with DEET in it. And of course, start checking around the house with these every other day showers we get. Make sure you dump out all the standing water so that you aren't helping our already illustrious mosquito population to bloom even more so. And speaking of things that it's that time of year and we need to govern ourselves accordingly, more and more people will be taking to our waterways here in Louisiana, enjoying recreational boating. That also means, unfortunately, there will be more and more people sharing the waterway with you and yours that have been drinking. You already know about the problem we have with people drinking and driving in Louisiana. So it only stands to reason that problem does not stop once they leave the roadway. As a matter of fact, when a lot of them will go from the roadway to the waterway, it gets even worse. I would imagine that the Louisiana Department of Wildlife and Fisheries and other law enforcement agencies will probably be ramping up their efforts at detecting and getting folks boating while drinking off of our waterways. It is, again, y'all, this is one of those self-inflicted wounds. Something that a little bit of discipline, a little bit of unselfishness, a little bit of caring about your loved ones and others that we could solve by ourselves. It's not that hard to do. And listen, y'all, I enjoy a good cold brew as much, if not more so, than the next guy. Long as it's not a Bud Light. Marty, don't bring that crap up in here. That's a different show for a different day. But at the end of the day, when all is said and done, if you don't protect yourself, your loved ones, and the other folks on the waterway, who will? It's not that hard, y'all. It's really not that hard. Finally, speaking of it's that time of year and we need to govern ourselves accordingly, if memory serves correct, already in this country, so far this year, 15 children have died after being left unattended in a hot car. You know how hot it gets in Louisiana. And listen, y'all, I understand your hectic pace of life. I get it. I understand you're running here, you're running there, you're doing this, you're doing that. I get all that. But these are children. Number one, they didn't ask to come here. You brought them here. They're your responsibility. Number two, not only is it your responsibility, but there's so many ways that you can avoid this. Here's a tip. Wherever the kids are in the car, put your phone there. You're not supposed to be on it while you're driving anyway. And God knows you're not going to get out of the car and leave your phone. So wherever the kids are in the car, put your phone there. That way, you're sure that you won't go off and forget that they're in the car. Again, this is one of those things that is totally within our control. And I'm going to solicit the help from you all that don't have kids, whose kids are grown, and what have you. Develop the habit this time of year, when you go to a store or any parking lot, for that matter, as you walk past vehicles, take a cursory glance inside the vehicle. Make sure no one in their hectic pace has run off and forgotten these kids are in the car, all the windows are up, and it's 94 degrees outside. You never know. The life that you save may just be a child of someone you know. Just an observation. Just an observation. First break of today's show. When we come back, segment 2, Tuesday. You know what that means, right? Yep. Time for another illustrious edition of Now That's Just Stupid. That's next when we continue today's edition of the Clarence Buggs Show, only on the Pelican. Stay close.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Hey everybody, I'm Kevin Gallagher. This is Roy Fletcher. We hope you'll join us for Fletch Nation, especially if you like talking politics.
Hey, come and join us. We'll give you the information, and then we'll give you the context. And by the way, we'll give you fun, too.
Lots of fun. We hit the local races, the state. We even look at what's going on all across America. And by the way, this space is available. If you'd like to talk about advertising, send your emails to Roy Fletcher at royfletcher.com and join us every week here on the Pelican for Fletch Nation.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
I'm self-employed and didn't report all my income. They claim I owe a lot more than I do.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
Tax Solutions Now saved my business.
I qualified for the Fresh Start program. I paid less than I owed.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 800-778-4345. 800-778-4345.
The season of inspiration is the perfect time to discover the enhanced Mazda CX-5, named a 2022 IIHS Safety Pick Plus Award winner, its highest safety award honor. Choose from over 45 CX-5s available at Baton Rouge's Mazda dealer, Team Mazda on Airline.
Hi, gang. Clarence Buggs here, inviting you to come by Old School Barbecue, 10655 Coursey Boulevard, where we tape the show live every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 11 o'clock. Come by and feast on news, sports, current events, love of God and country, and lots of common sense, along with some of the best barbecue anywhere on the planet. 10655 Coursey Boulevard, Old School Barbecue, home of the Clarence Buggs Show.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystoneCountryClub.com.
Welcome back to the Tuesday edition of the Clarence Buggs Show. Second segment, Tuesday show, means it's time for another edition of Now That's Just Stupid. We're not talking, however, your ordinary, everyday, regular STUPID. That would be just normal stupid. But as you well know, in our country as of late, things have gotten so bad, we've had to come up with a new word and its own spelling. STOOPID, as in, now that's just stupid. We start in Waldorf, Maryland. Don't know how much you know about Maryland, Baltimore, Waldorf, etc. But in recent memory, Baltimore, like so many other Democrat-run cities, has exploded with crime. Not only has it exploded with crime, but it's also exploded with stupid. For example, police in Waldorf find out about a stolen car. Person calls in, lodges a complaint. Somebody stole my car. So they put out a BOLO. Be on lookout. BOLO. Law enforcement circles, it's called a BOLO. So officers out patrolling see the car. You pull the car over. The occupants attempt to run. Law enforcement rounds them all up, takes them to jail. A 21-year-old, a 19-year-old, and 2 minors. So as is normally the case, law enforcement calls the parents / guardians to come and pick up the minors. With me so far? The guardian of the 2 minors shows up to take possession of the 2 minors arrested in a stolen car. She shows up in a, wait for it, stolen car. You can't make this stupid up. And we wonder where these kids get this kind of crap from. Who does this? Honey, we just got a call. Our son's in jail. In jail? Yeah. For what? Oh, they caught him in a stolen car. Well, you want me to go pick him up, or are you going to go? I'll go. Give me the keys. And you hand him a screwdriver. Really? Who does this? You go to the jail to retrieve your kids arrested in a stolen car. You go to pick them up in a stolen car? STOOPID. Speaking of cars, did you see this one last week? Survey's been done that shows New York City is sinking. Not because the ocean levels are rising, according to this report, but because of the weight of the buildings and the number of buildings that have been constructed in New York. The city is now sinking. Y'all realize what's going to happen when electric vehicles kick in? You think that sucker is sinking now? Wait until you put millions of vehicles on the road and in parking garages that average 700 pounds more than a comparable internal combustion engine. That's the average. The average electric vehicle weighs 700 pounds more than a comparable internal combustion vehicle. So imagine, some cars 700 pounds more, others up to 3,000-4,000 pounds more. Imagine what that's going to do to the roadways, and imagine what happens when you pack all these cars into a parking garage. I don't know how many of you know much about concrete and rebar. When you build a parking garage, there's a weight limit. There's a weight limit. And now you're going to fill these garages with vehicles that on average are 700 pounds heavier than a normal internal combustion driven vehicle. God forbid one of them, electric vehicle, catches fire inside of a parking garage. It's not like you can drive a fire engine inside most parking garages to put out the fire. And once those puppies catch fire, Putting them out ain't like talking about it, y'all. It is estimated it takes 10 times as much water to extinguish an electrical vehicle fire as opposed to a fire in an internal combustion driven car. These people don't think this stuff all the way through, y'all. They don't think it all the way through. Not to mention, just last week, report comes out that says roughly 2/3 of this country will be at risk this summer for brownouts and blackouts. 2/3 of the country, y'all, will not have enough electricity at some point this summer when it heats up to keep the lights on and the air conditioning working. Now just imagine you throw in to that millions of electric cars, and of course they are attempting to make everything electric. Lawnmowers, chainsaws, weed eaters, blowers, hedge trimmers, you name it, all electric. 2/3 of the country is already at risk for not having enough electricity to keep the lights on and the air conditioning working. Where in hell is all this extra electricity going to come from? Wind and solar ain't going to cut it, Hoss. That ain't going to cut it. How many times do I have to tell you, this is not about saving the planet. This is about control. What you can drive, what you can't drive. Where you can go, where you can't go. What you can eat, what you can't eat. What you can drink, what you can't drink. What you can teach your children, we're going to talk about that later. What you can't teach your children. This is not about saving the planet. It's a freaking joke. It is all about control of you stupid people. Finally, remember President Joe Biden raiding the nation's strategic petroleum reserve? Remember that? The 168 million barrels of oil. Remember that? Some of which, by the way, was sold to China. But I digress. 6 months ago, the Biden-Harris administration announced we're going to start refilling the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. Because after all, that's important to our nation's security, and we had to siphon off 168 million barrels, so we're going to start the process of putting it back. So last week, at a press conference, they were asked, remember y'all said y'all were going to start the process 6 months ago of refilling the Strategic Petroleum Reserve? Yeah, we remember telling y'all that. So how many barrels have you purchased to put back into the Strategic Petroleum Reserve? I'll give you a hint. This many. This many. 0. As a matter of fact, they're now saying, based on our plan, it's going to take a while. So a couple of reporters smelled something rotten in Denmark and said, okay, how long is a while? About 40 years. About 40 freaking years And this is what y'all voted for. God knows we tried to tell you. We tried to tell you over and over again. And you voted Democrat anyway. STOOPID. Stupid. Bottom of the hour break. When we come back, it's actually about a continuation of stupid. And it's happening more and more every single day. That's next when we continue the Tuesday edition of the Clarence Buggs Show, only on the Pelican. Stay close.
Got termites? Get Premier Pest. PremierPestServices.com.
You could be driving. Now's the time to save on new Accords during Happy Honda Days at Team Honda of Acadiana. Get our lowest prices and biggest savings on our largest selection of Accords this year. Hurry in and save during Happy Honda Days at Team Honda of Acadiana, I-49 just south of Opelousas.
Hi, I'm Katie, Operation Manager here at Old School Barbecue. We're excited about all of the changes here at Old School, and we'd like to invite everyone to come out and enjoy some delicious barbecue at Old School prices. We feature brisket, chicken, ribs, sausage, and the Boss Hog pulled pork sandwich voted best deal in town. We also have live music Friday and Saturday from 7 to 10 p.m. 10655 Coursey Boulevard. We can't wait to see you.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Caught spiders? Premier Pest Services.
Welcome back to the Tuesday edition of the Clarence Buggs Show. I don't know how many of you are aware, but there is a concerted effort, sick and twisted, aimed at your children. I don't know how many of you have children in public schools, but if you do and you care about them and or this country, you need to get them the hell out as soon as possible. There are folks in government, legislative circles, education circles, that are hell-bent on indoctrinating your children. Recently, Federal Education Secretary Miguel Cardona came out and said, quote, teachers know what's best for their kids because they're with them every day. We must trust teachers. Of course, now, this is right on the heels of Joe Biden stating not long ago, there's no such thing as somebody else's children. They're all our children. The hell they are. And his mouthpiece, Karine Jean-Pierre, just last week, after a gay and lesbian event, in an interview, says, there's no such thing as other people's kids. They belong to all of us. Like hell they do. Did you see the elementary school teacher in Florida that showed her class an LGBTQ, LMNOP, XYZ, whatever the hell they call themselves today, showed an LGBTQ themed film to her elementary class. And when parents objected, she said that number one, parents objecting are just ignorant. And number two, more important, she said, and I quote, all of your parental rights are gone when your child walks into a public school. They're not even trying to hide it anymore, y'all. They want to teach your son that he can be your daughter. They want to teach your daughter that she can be your son. These people are evil. They are sick. They are twisted. And they are coming after your children. But this can only happen if you allow it to. If your kids are in public school, you better monitor every single day what they're being taught. If you don't be surprised the next time you go shopping for school clothes when your son wants you to buy him a dress. Don't be surprised. This is what is happening in schools all across this country. And this guy, Cardona, is the head of the Federal Department of Education. Of course, he's just following the script. The leader of the free world has already said, there's no such thing as other people's children. They belong to all of us. Somebody needs to set this fool straight in a hurry. But you know what the ultimate irony here is? Think about this. Ultimate irony. The same people that will tell us with a straight face any opportunity they get, well, these are all our kids. And we care so much about the kids and we love them so much that we want to be sure they have every opportunity that's available to them to explore their sexuality and be who they are. These are the same people, y'all, that fight tooth and nail to kill these children while they're still in the womb. You see how they play you? Oh, these are our children. These are all of America's children. Yeah, the ones you don't kill in the womb. And I'm supposed to think that you, who wants to kill as many of them as you can while they're still in the womb, I'm supposed to believe that you're going to teach them stuff that's in their best interest? In the words of the esteemed homie D. Clown, I don't think so. These people are sick, y'all. They are twisted. But they can only get away with it if we allow it. Now, if you don't have a problem with your son being taught he can be your daughter, that's on you. If you don't have a problem with your daughter being taught she can be your son, that's on you. Just don't complain when your son or daughter is walking around here with mental issues that you can't figure out where the hell they came from. Speaking of idiots in high places, the NAACP this week comes out and issues a travel advisory for black people to stay away from Florida. Really, bruh? Really? Number one, if you think black folk are not going to go to the beach in Florida because you say so, you are sadly mistaken, bruh. Number two, did I mention the president of the NAACP lives in, wait for it, Tampa, Florida. This organization has become a joke. Did you know in the 4 years that Lori Lightfoot was the mayor of Chicago, there were 2,700 homicides? In 4 years, 2,700 homicides, most of whom look just like me, and most of whom were murdered by people that look just like me. This is a rhetorical question. You already know the answer. Do you remember the NAACP holding a press conference and issuing a travel alert for black people, particularly young black people, to stay away from Chicago? Like I said, it was rhetorical. You already know the answer. We all know. 2 years ago, Black Beach Weekend in Florida, where black folk all get together, hang out on the beach, do what you do at the beach. 27 people shot. Did the NAACP have a press conference about that? Now you know what this is, don't you? You know what this is. NAACP, being the good, loyal Democrats that they are, right when Florida Governor Ron DeSantis gets ready to announce that he's running for president, the NAACP rides to the rescue. We got to mobilize these good, loyal black folk, Democrats, and try to tarnish his name and his image. Could you be any more obvious about it? Could you be any more obvious? When's the last time you remember the NAACP holding a big old press conference and denouncing plans to deal with the most pressing issues out there for black people in Seattle, Portland, Oakland, LA, San Francisco, Kansas City, St. Louis, Detroit, Chicago, New Orleans, Baton Rouge, Newark, New York? I don't have enough time to tell you all the other cities. When's the last time you remember that? Oh, but they are so concerned about black people. You're a freaking joke. You're a joke. And if you are still listening to these clowns, you're an even bigger joke. Name me one thing, just one, monumental, that the NAACP has done for black people in recent memory. All I'm asking for is just one thing. Can't think of something, huh? That ought to tell you all you need to know. That should tell you everything you need to know. But don't go to the beach because they're openly hostile to black people. Here's a question. Take 2 weekends. One weekend, go to the beach in Florida. The next weekend, go to Chicago. If you're black, which one do you think will present a greater chance of you being shot and or killed? On the beach in Florida or in Chicago? I rest my case. Final break of today's show. We'll get it done, put that big old pretty bow on this puppy, and we wrap up the Tuesday edition of the Clarence Buggs Show, only on the Pelican. Stay close. Few things in life are as valuable as family and peace of mind, especially when it comes to your final arrangements. And that's where Dignity Memorial can help. Our prepaid funeral plans make sure that your life will be remembered exactly the way you want it to. At Dignity Memorial, no detail is too large or too small. Call Lee or Gretchen Serio at 225-315-6329. That's 315-6329. Dignity Memorial, for the peace of mind you deserve.
Every great story starts with the rush of thrilling gaming action. Handcrafted flavors, eager to please. Getaways for some well-deserved me time. And rewards worth bragging about. If it's a story worth telling, it starts at La Berge Baton Rouge. What's your story?
Treads & Care Tire Company announces its new location on Hooper Road in Central. Locally owned for 50 years, Treads & Care is known for quality automotive repair with top-notch customer service. Treads & Care offers the convenience of shuttle service and pickup and delivery of your vehicle. You can also enjoy the comfortable customer area, complete with workstations, high-speed internet, and a complimentary coffee bar.
I'd like to invite you to come out and see us at our new location in Central.
Treads & Care, the tires you need and the service you want.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystoneCountryClub.com.
Tremonti's has meat, Tremonti's has seafood, Tremonti's has much more. Tailgating and home gating platters, huge wine and liquor selection, beer and all the spices you need. Chairman Reserve and Wagyu meats, ribeye rolls, shrimp rolls, kebabs, 20 flavors of sausage for the grill, daily lunch specials and game processing. On-site catering also available. Good meat ain't cheap and cheap meat ain't good. Visit Tremonti's.com.
Sometimes life is wonderful, and sometimes it's not. Cherish the good, but always be prepared for life's challenges. At Private Healthcare, we provide the peace of mind you deserve. With Private Healthcare, you'll get the coverage you want and healthcare you need. If your employer doesn't supply healthcare coverage and you don't qualify for Medicare or Medicaid, you need to give us a call right now. Private Healthcare is private health insurance for ages 65 and under with medical, dental, vision, and even prescription coverage. When life comes at you unexpectedly, you need to be ready. And health insurance is your financial safety net. Health insurance has never been so easy and affordable. If you're looking for health coverage at the best price and your annual household income is $35,000 or more, call the number on the screen now and speak with a live healthcare consultant. Don't wait. Get the coverage you need now.
Welcome back to the final segment of the Tuesday edition of the Clarence Bud Show. Before we get out of here, I want to remind you that this week is National EMS Appreciation Week. Our first responders being celebrated this week. And it's ironic to me that this week comes just a couple weeks after I got a brand new appreciation for our first responders and what they do. I relayed the story to you a couple weeks ago, how there was an ungodly accident near my home. And I was the first on scene to respond. I was the one that called EMS, called fire department, BRPD, the whole nine. So I got to see firsthand what these brave men and women deal with every single day. I told Marty earlier this morning, and I stand by it 100%. I'm not built that way, y'all. There's a saying I ran across a few days ago that says, in the human experience, one of the amazing idiosyncrasies of the human experience is some things that are seen cannot be unseen. Meaning, some things happen in life and you see it and you will never get it out of your head. I thank God every single day that I did not have to look at the face of the individual that was involved in losing his life in that ungodly accident. Because I know every time I closed my eyes, it would be there. Thank you, God, for loving me enough to not let me see that. But my point is, these guys and girls do this every single day. And most of us, English teachers, forgive me in 3, 2, 1, we ain't built like that. We're not. And if you're honest with yourself, you already know this. So this week, if you happen across sheriff's deputy, city police officer, fireman or woman, EMS paramedic, give them a handshake, give them a pat on the back, give them an attaboy or attagirl, whatever. Because they deserve it, y'all. They deserve it in no uncertain terms. You know, there's somebody in your family that deserves something as well. They deserve, when your life on this earth is over, they deserve not to have to go through the emotional trauma of planning your funeral and figuring out how to pay for your funeral. That's where our newest sponsor, Lee Serio, and the good folks at Dignity Memorial can help. You realize, do you not, how much everything costs these days? Well, by getting your prepaid funeral plan, you lock the price in right now. Imagine, you know what funerals cost just a few years ago. And you see what they cost now. If you're a big money baller, you don't care how much it costs. I got it. Well, God bless you, bro. I ain't mad at you. I ain't mad at you at all, sister. I'm happy for you. But for the rest of us, wouldn't you like to have the peace of mind of knowing, 1, I saved some money, 2, my family won't have to worry about this. And I'll have the peace of mind of knowing everything will be taken care of just the way I want it to. Call Lee, 225-315. 315-6329. 315-6329. If it helps any, think about it this way. If you lock that price in now and pay it off, 5 years, hopefully more, 10 years from now, do you imagine how much funerals are going to cost? That $25,000 that you saved? Perfect justification. You've been trying to talk the wife into letting you get that boat. Here's a way. Your kids have been begging for that ATV. Here's a way. Save your money and save your family the grief. Nobody does it like Dignity Memorial. They work with over 2,000 funeral homes all across the country. They know what they're doing, and they appreciate their customers like nobody else. 225-315-6329. Call Lee and do your buddy Clarence a favor, will you? Let him know that you heard about him right here on the Clarence Buggs Show. Marty, if you would, twist that for me. It is completely whited out. Thank you, my friend. I said whited out. You're not going to hold that against me, are you? All right. Marty say, I'm all right. Long as I don't go to Florida, right? There you go. It is probably going to be a pretty hectic week for the folks in Washington as we start to get closer and closer to the debt ceiling negotiations. We will keep an eye on this as it all unfolds, and of course, any information that we get, we will certainly pass along to you. I only hope that the Republicans in Congress will grow a spine. I can only hope that they will have enough backbone to stick to principle so that we don't end up with a situation even worse than what we have right now. You know, in recent memory, debt ceiling, oh, we're going to run out of money. We're going to run out of money. We can't pay our bills. This is happening far too frequently, y'all. Far too frequently. And like other things we have talked about today, it will only happen if we, Americans, allow it to. My time's up, y'all, and I got to go. But you already know the drill. This day, more than any other in history, I give it to you. You know what? You're right. America, we're not perfect. But for this old boy's money, it's the best there is. And God knows there's no place else on his green earth that I'd rather be. Speaking of the good Lord, you realize he loves you, right? And I hope you know that I do too. Then again, there ain't a doggone thing you can do about either one. Take care of yourselves and each other. We'll see you soon. God bless.